Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Natalie Poole, and Coach 2-2 last week, and you had to grab one of those wins on the road in conference. And you play a road series in the league, you just want to grab a win, but you started off at home over our Mississippi Valley last week in a midweek game, a 4-0 win for you.
Yeah, I think that they're a very aggressive team offensively. He's put together some great teams. You know, coming out of the SWAC, they've been a force to be reckoned with. They've always been the team that's come out of the SWAC and been in postseason. So, and they've given us a tough time while we've tried to rebuild and get things in order, but I was definitely pleased with what we did. I was pleased with the midweek win. It's definitely better to be able to play outside competition than to have to practice every day. So it's nice to get in the box, work on some things that maybe we didn't do right over the weekend before, and so it was good.
Always dangerous when you play a team like Mississippi Valley, just one game instead of a doubleheader, because in a doubleheader you can expose maybe some pitching depth issues that a school like that might have, but one game anything goes.
That's right, and so we knew we were going to see their best, and so we got them to make a pitching change, but it's also sometimes difficult as far as timing with pitch speed, and so it took us a little bit to get things going. We put the ball in play, had some people on, didn't score them, but it was nice to be able to come back later on and do what we needed to do.
Well, Coach, you've already been to Connecticut, and you headed back up to New Jersey to play Rutgers right when I guess they got another cold snap, but at least you're able to get all 3 games in.
I should have known that was going to happen, but it was the first day was pretty chilly for us, and we came out. I thought that in the first game we played really well. Second game we didn't play well at all, so I was a bit frustrated walking away from the first day with no wins. And they statistically are a better team than us, but I definitely felt like we could have done better against them. We could have walked away with that first win. It was definitely a battle, but we came out on Sunday. We recovered. We pitched well enough to be in the ball game. It was definitely an offensive battle. I think they had 11 hits. We had 10 hits. And we played much better defense than what we showed in the second game against Rutgers, and so it was nice to come away with the win.
It's almost kind of a mirror image of the week before at home against Houston, where you play that very tight first game, but momentum, as we talked about last week, carries over whether you win or lose in that first game. It seems like to the second game of a doubleheader, they open it up, but then you storm right back. You didn't let it affect you, and you salvaged a game out of the series.
Absolutely, and so I feel like some of what we're not doing is pitching well in that second game. And so, when we feel like we need to make a change, it's just not working. And so, I was a bit worried about that. And then in addition to that, we just didn't play good defense either to kind of help support the pitching change that we were making. And so it was a bit of a challenge. I'm definitely proud of the girls for recovering on the second day, but we've got to do better on the first day. We're giving the pitcher too much credit in the first game and not doing enough when, we're coming out the second day. We had, I think, only 3 or 4 hits in the first game against their number 1. We had 13 strikeouts in the first game. And in the second time we saw her on Sunday, we had 1 strikeout and we had 10 hits. And so to me, it's very frustrating when we flip the switch and can do such great things offensively. I'd like to see that on the first day, and I know the girls would too. I don't think that their intent is to go out and to fail, but we definitely need to see some quicker adjustments.
All right, Coach, before we talk about Alcorn State in South Florida, it's getting close to the end now. That conference tournament's May 8th. You're about 3 weeks away. What are your thoughts so far as you get to that latter couple of weeks of the conference season heading into conference tournament play?
Well, I know that the next few weeks are going to be a challenge for us. South Florida and Louisville are both positioned in front of us. South Florida and Louisville are both trying to contend for a number 1 spot. And so I know that it's not going to be an easy feat for us, but I definitely think that if we can come out and have some good weekends, win some ball games, then it gives our girls some momentum going into the tournament in a sense that, we play them and face them 1 game, anything goes.
Coach, you're going to start it off Wednesday, doubleheader Alcorn State. You'll start it at 4 o'clock over the softball complex.
We are, it's always nice to be able to play midweek. We like to be able to get those games in just to be able to try to do something different again. Instead of practice, we can get in the box, create some live defensive plays that we can't really do sometimes in practice, get the energy up, the competitiveness up during the midweek so we're not flat when it comes to the weekend.
Then this weekend, as you mentioned, you'll be down at USF in Tampa. So you're kind of going back and forth, that cold weather up to the northeast, back to Florida. You did that UConn, UCF, now Rutgers, now South Florida, but I know you'll be glad to be down in the sun.
We're definitely looking forward to the warmth.
You mentioned South Florida vying to
Yes.
maybe get that number 1 seed. What else can you tell us about the Bulls?
Their pitching is going to be pretty strong. They have a kid by the name of Nevins who's really doing well. I mean, she's actually in contention for like National Player of the Year. She's what they ride the whole time, and and while I think this weekend, whenever they faced Houston, they pitched her, I think, in the first game, and then they brought her in relief in the second game. So I think that they're willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means using her arm to go the distance. And so I'll be interested to see how things go. I know that they've got a pretty good numbers offensively, but they are going to pitch well.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That is head coach Natalie Poole. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.